greatest glory of living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time you fall.
I sat with Nelson Mandela. My question for him was, how'd you do that? How'd you get sentenced to life in imprisonment? You spend 27 years doing hard time, and then not only do you get released before you die, but then you actually become president of the country that sentenced you to life. And now, by the way, you're not going to go have let's go get the bad guys and kill them hearings. You're having let's have truth and reconciliation hearings. How'd you do that? And his answer was amazing. He said, and I was part of a 7-person delegation to take an award to him in South Africa. When he arrived in the room, we were told ahead of time, no flash photography, because his retinas were so damaged with all the work in rock quarries and the reflection of the sunlight. So when I got to ask my question, he said, the man who was sentenced to prison is not the man who became president. That was a very angry, bitter young man. And it took me quite a while. At first I was just, it's all over, it'll never happen, it'll never happen. I spent a long time in depression. And then one day a thought landed on my awareness like a drop of water on a parched land. And the thought was, what if it's not over? What if it could still happen? And it, just even that thought helped me enough that I hung on to it. And I nurtured it, like maybe what, and then as I moved, he said up the ladder of awareness with that thought, one day it occurred to me, so if my being in prison could actually be part of the solving or the ending of apartheid, what about that? And if my being in prison is actually part of the ending of apartheid, what would I do? And it didn't take me very long to start writing letters. And eventually the American media would pick up the letters, and the rest is history. But clearly, he said, the man who went to prison could never have become, who could never have done, the man who went to prison could never have done what the man who came out of prison has been able to do. And that transformation occurred one thought at a time, discovering who I really was and who I could be.
I would like it to be said, here lies a man who has done his duty on earth.
If you believe that you can start to change your thoughts and change your thinking and bring about new patterns in your life, well, guess what? You're right. You can do that too.